Welcome to Tales Beyond the Goalposts. Episode 1. Rule 1 Seniors Only. First day of school. Monday, August 25th, 1986. Let the gossip begin. Sarah Mitchell tugged at her light blue blouse, already sticking to her back as she pushed through the stream of students in Edna High's main common area. August in Texas was no joke. It was 8 in the morning and already a sauna on the first day of school. She took her spot on one of the two, L-shaped senior benches positioned right by the senior lockers on one end of the main hall. This spot made it easy to see almost every locker in the school and track all the juicy details. Janet Wilson stood nearby. "Early bird today, huh?" "Morning, Janet," Sarah said warmly. "You excited about your junior year?" "I guess." Janet shifted her books. "Is it okay if I—" "Oh, honey, you better wait a few minutes," Sarah advised. "The others will be here soon, and you should already know how sitting here works. This bench comes with rules. It's the seniors-only bench." Sarah watched Janet walk to her locker. It was the first day of school, and the same rituals were happening. Freshmen were lost. Sophomores were trying too hard. Juniors were testing boundaries. Seniors now claiming the top of the pecking order. The familiar scent of Clinique perfume preceded Amber Brown's voice. Even on the first day of school, she looked perfectly put together in her fitted red pants and white blouse. "Sarah, honey, you're here early. Good. We need to talk about how this year's gonna work. Right now, though, I need to know if you heard about Jessica and Mike breaking up at the lake party." "Jessica Morrison and Mike Stevens?" Sarah shifted to face Amber. "But they've been together since sophomore year. Bless their hearts." "Not anymore, they haven't," Amber said. "Apparently Mike was getting a little too friendly with Cindy Patterson, and Jessica caught him behind the boathouse." "Oh my," Sarah breathed. "That's gonna make homecoming interesting, isn't it?" "That's what I'm saying," Amber pointed. "We need to figure out how this affects the whole social situation. I mean, Mike's gonna want to bring Cindy, but Jessica will still be part of the homecoming court, and... Ladies, hope y'all saved me some room. Gonna be a long year." Eric dropped onto the bench. "Eric Schmidt." Sarah smiled. "How was your summer, sugar?" "You have fun?" "Freaking awesome," Eric said. "Y'all should have seen the party at my place last weekend. It was an epic last party of the summer. Had to hire a cleaning service before my parents got back from Dallas." "Your parents were gone again?" Amber asked. "Business trip. Dad's expanding the dealership, so they're traveling all the time now." Eric shrugged. "Anyway, point is, we've got the perfect setup for parties this year. Big house, understanding neighbors, and a pool." "Speaking of parties," Amber leaned forward. "Did y'all hear about what happened with Abby Henderson?" "Of course!" Eric's eyebrows shot up. "Dude, that was crazy. I heard she snuck out and took her dad's truck to meet some guy from Victoria." "And crashed it into their mailbox coming home," Sarah added. "Poor thing. Her daddy was furious. I just feel awful for her." "Serves her right," Amber said. "You don't take your parents' vehicle without permission. That's totally immature." "Well, I'll be. Looky here at what the cat done drug up to the senior bench." Jack's voice boomed. "Jack Stewart," Amber said dryly. "Punctual as always. Y'all saving me a spot, ain't ya?" "Wasn't really saving as much as resigning ourselves to the inevitable," Eric grinned. "That there stings, Schmidt." Jack clutched his chest. "And here I thought we all was tight." "Of course we're all friends," Sarah laughed. "That's about the only reason your junior butt gets to sit here. 'Cause we know you're gonna do whatever you want anyway." "Sharp one there, aren't you, Sarah?" Jack nodded. "You could have at least gotten a fresh haircut before school," Amber added, eyeing Jack's sandy brown mullet. "Cut off that rat's nest." "And mess up the #1 feature that reels in the ladies?" Jack shot back, running his hand through his hair. Amber looked around dramatically. "Yeah, I can see the long line of ladies there, Jack. They're lining up for miles." Give it time, darlin', Jack grinned. School year's just getting started. So what's the word on the street, y'all? What did I miss this morning? Jessica and Mike broke up, Sarah offered. Well, hell's bells, what happened there? Jack asked. Mike got caught with Cindy Patterson, Amber explained. Jack shook his head. That boy's dumber than a box of rocks. Jessica's sweeter than peach cobbler. What's a senior boy want with that sophomore gal? Variety? Eric suggested. Stupidity, Amber corrected. Poor Jessica, Sarah said softly. She must be heartbroken. Maybe we should check on her. She'll be fine, Amber waved dismissively. Girls like Jessica always bounce back. Besides, now she's available for homecoming. Might actually make things more interesting. Speaking of juicy stuff, Jack pointed across the main hall. Y'all seeing what I see going on over by them sophomore lockers? Drama already? Eric asked. That's Cindy, Amber said, and she's surrounded by Jessica's friends. Uh-oh, Sarah murmured. Should we do something? This ain't gonna end well, Jack predicted. Them gals look madder'n a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Cindy Patterson emerged from the crowd, face red, and rushed down the back hallway. And that, Amber said, is how justice works at Edna High. Y'all think that was necessary? Sarah asked gently. Honey, you mess with someone's boyfriend. You deal with the consequences, Amber replied. That's just how it works. Ain't no shame in standing by your friends, Jack added. Reckon that Patterson gal got her lesson. Probably not, Eric said. Girls like that usually just get sneakier. Speaking of which, Amber turned. Anybody else got any interest in summer developments? Tommy Rodriguez grew like a weed, Sarah pointed. He's got to be 6 feet tall now. Looks like a whole different person, bless his heart. Good for him, Eric nodded. Maybe he'll finally try out for basketball. Kid's got talent, just needs confidence. I told him he could use my hoop anytime to practice. What about that freshman girl? Amber asked. The one by the lockers wearing makeup? Bless her heart, Sarah said. Somebody needs to help that poor child with that makeup. First day's hard enough without looking like that. Not our problem, Amber said firmly. Freshmen gotta figure things out for themselves. We can't be expected to babysit. That's mighty cold, darlin', Jack observed. Ice cold. Practical, Amber corrected. We can't save everybody. Bobby McNeil's gonna have a party this weekend, Eric added. Another one? He has more parties than you, Eric, Sarah said. Y'all are not gonna believe what I just saw in the parking lot, Jerry Martinez announced, patting his gelled hair to make sure it was still in place. Jerry, Amber sighed, it's 8 in the morning. What could possibly have happened already? Oh, this is good, Jerry said. Y'all know Randall Hayes, right? Bad boy, motorcycle, leather jacket? We know Randall, Eric said patiently. Well, guess who was dropping him off at school this morning? His parents? Sarah suggested. His mama, Jerry announced, in a minivan with a baby on board sticker. The bench erupted in laughter. No way, Eric wheezed. Man, I would have paid good money to see that. I'm telling y'all, Jerry continued, Randall Hayes climbing out of a minivan. His bike must be broken. Well, I'll be, Jack said, his accent thickening. Even the toughest hombres gotta call mama sometimes. Did anybody else see? Amber asked. Just me, I think, Jerry said. I was early 'cause my mom had to drop off my little sister at elementary. Fixed us all a big breakfast. Y'all know I got the best eye for this stuff. Well, look what the good Lord done blessed us with, Jack called out suddenly. Matt Garrett, get your sorry hide over here, hoss. Matt Garrett looked up, grinned, and walked over. He gave the guys handshakes with a shoulder bump. Morning, y'all, Matt said, sliding between the girls. Ladies, he leaned back, throwing his arms over the bench behind Amber and Sarah. We fittin' to tear up our junior season, Hoss? Jack asked. No doubt, Stuart, Matt replied. Coach has us practicing hard this week. The rest of y'all better come watch us destroy Needville Friday night. Wouldn't miss it, Eric said. Season tickets, baby. Good man, Matt grinned. All right, I better get going. Y'all stay out of trouble. That wouldn't make for much fun, would it now, Matt? Amber called after him. Jack watched Matt walk away towards the math classes. Y'all hear Matt's back on the market? Oh, really? Amber asked, suddenly interested. Yes, sirree, Jack nodded. He ain't gonna go on about it, but his heart got broke this summer. Jack looked over at Amber. Amber Brown, you staring at his butt? No, I'm not. Amber's face flushed red. Uh-huh, Jack nodded. That's what all the gals say, darlin'. I was just... Shut up, Jack. Amber looked down and wrote in her notebook. Poor Randall, Sarah said, shifting the convo. He's probably mortified. Y'all know how boys are about their image. Good, Amber said. Maybe it'll bring him down a peg. Boys like that think they're so tough. Aw, come on, Amber, Jack protested. Ain't no harm in needing a ride to school. There is when your whole image is built on being too cool for everything, Eric pointed out. It's like if I showed up in a beat-up Pinto instead of my Mustang. Fair enough, Jack conceded. We all been there. The warning bell rang. All right, y'all. Amber stood up. Emergency lunch meeting. We need to figure out the Jessica situation and discuss homecoming strategy. Be here by 12:15. Sounds like a plan, Eric agreed. Anyone need a ride to Sonic for lunch? I'm buying. I'm in Hoss. Jack shook Eric's hand. Y'all make sure to save me a spot? Jerry asked. If you bring more gossip like the Randall story, Amber said, your spot is as good as secured. Deal. Jerry grinned and hurried off. Well, y'all, Jack stood up. New Year's kicking off. With Bobby McNeil's party this weekend, it's already smelling like chaos. Let's see what ruckus is going to be raised. Speak for yourself, Jack, Sarah laughed. Some of us are going to try to stay out of trouble. Where's the fun in that, darling? Jack winked and headed toward his first period. Sarah gathered her things. The senior bench crew was officially in session. Amber pulled out her spiral, flipped past the schedule she'd already rewritten 3 times, and jotted a few notes in the corner. Jessica plus Mike equals over. Cindy in the doghouse. Abby wrecked Daddy's truck. Randall, minivan truth bomb. Matt Garrett, single. She underlined Matt's name once and circled single, twice. This was going to be one hell of a year.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope this story drew you in and made you feel like you were right there on the bench, in the hallway, and hearing the whispers before they blew up. These characters mean a lot to me. They're messy, funny, flawed, brave in their own quiet ways. Some are straight out of my novel Beyond the Goalposts. Whether it's Amber with her spiral notebook, Jack with his mouth, or Sarah trying to hold things together, each are just trying to figure out who they are when everyone else is already making up their minds for them. If anything here made you laugh, think, or remind you of those days in your own school hallway when something hits close to home, I'd love to hear from you. Oh, and there's a lot more coming. More episodes, more rules, more fallout. Because eventually, the truth shows up. And when it does, it's not always the story people want. Thanks for sitting on the senior bench. As my boy Matt Garrett says, people don't want the truth. They want the story.